Yes, probably 2015 since I've been to a game
Or like
there.
a
So I
hot
haven't
dog.
really. Oh, I love that stadium
about
though.
it.
But
Just a hot dog.
welcome to another episode of the Home Run Porch podcast. I'm Kevin,
I'm Madison.
and today we're talking about stadium food.
Food.
What's
your so no matter say you're going to the Little League game.
Yep.
And you only have like 3 options: hot dog, a burger, pizza. What are you gonna get? Or you're like, I don't want that. Just give me some seeds.
I've eaten a lot of seeds. It's weird eating seeds at a game as a non-player.
Sure. Good point. That is a good point.
You know what? When I was a kid and would go out to Met Stadium, that's how old I am. Used to go out to old Met Stadium. I always wanted to get the malt cup. That was my, you got the little wooden spoon, little crappy wooden spoon, and you scoop it out there, and it was like, it wasn't even good ice cream, but to have it at the stadium was a big deal, and
and the ice cream made it like
you scoop it out, and you're licking the thing like a little 8-year-old and stuff like that. Do they still have malt cups? I know they have ice cream, but do they still have the malt cups?
They don't have malt cups. You can get like a helmet with ice cream.
Yeah.
So, but you can load up on like that, but. That's a good point. We should try to pitch that to a minor league team where they're like, bring back the malt cup.
Bring back the malt cup.
Get the wooden spoons, man.
The little wooden spoons, which they'd have a string of them, like 20 of them, and they'd tear one off and they'd put it with you and stuff like that. I don't even remember how much they cost back in 1975. But
so apparently at the first baseball games in the 1800s, no hot dog, no hamburger, you'd have a ham and cheese sandwich. You'd have a ham and cheese. They offered lemonade and then ice cream. That's kind of interesting. Like a ham and cheese sandwich at a ball game.
Well, some of these stadiums. Okay, so I don't profess to be a food expert when it goes to baseball game because I'm like I said,
there to watch the game.
I'm there to watch the game, but also it's weird to me when people are ordering sushi at a baseball game. That just seems so weird to me.
So now, at Target Field, if you're in the Delta 360 Club, you have your own personal server.
Yeah.
So they'll come to you and say, hey, what do you want? And it's literally almost anything that they have. I'll have sushi. And at one point, are you I'm at a baseball game?
Well, and that's why I think, don't you want to eat baseball game? It's like when you go to the movies, you're getting popcorn. Imagine if you went to the movies and got sushi. That would just be so out of, I don't know.
Personally, when I go to a Twins game, whether it be, with my girlfriend or the family, I rely on the other people to get me food because, I don't like to miss any part of the game. You know what I mean?
hate it.
From pitch to pitch,
yep.
I'm there.
Yep.
I don't want to, they're like, hey, do you want to, those people who, will arrive late, at the fourth inning, I'm like, you've missed.
I hate that.
Or
leave early.
Already.
Leave early when the game's in doubt. I'm like, you're going to leave in the 7th inning? What are you, crazy?
Right, my girlfriend, she's like, let's leave. The game's over. I'm like, it's literally 3-1. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
We have 2 innings left. So it's so that gets on my nerves, but it's I don't want to leave to get food. I don't really need it, But yeah, if
I'm the guy that wants to buy it from the people coming up and down the aisles, the vendors.
Yeah.
And so and that limits what they're gonna bring by. Also, they're not gonna bring sushi. I don't think. I've never seen them bring sushi by, but maybe they do.
Yeah.
Some of the more exotic foods.
So if we're talking about hot dogs, I did some research on just hot dogs in general, sausage in general.
Sure.
And so, what do you think? When was the first hot dog, if you want to call it sausage, made? You think?
In general, or at base at sold it? Oh gosh, hot dogs. Hey, that's such a. I'm gonna say 1930.
64 A.D.
Oh, geez.
Emperor Nero, ancient Rome. He had a cook. His name was Gaius. He stuffed the pig intestines with ground meat and a flash of culinary inspiration. And so after eating the sausage, the emperor says he's declared, and he declares it not only to the cook, but he puts out where you nail it on where everyone can see it. I have discovered something of great importance, he said.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Because isn't the whole thing about a hot dog is it's kind of, my roommate used to call it mystery meat. Right. It's we're not quite sure what part of the animal's in there.
Right, exactly.
It could be just the leftovers. That being said, I'm a vegetarian, full disclosure.
Yeah.
I haven't had a hot dog since 1989, but I used to love hot dogs.
Yeah.
I used to eat, I'd go to the ball game and I always get the foot long and smother it in ketchup.
A fun thing also, if you're talking about hot dogs, is Babe Ruth once devoured a dozen hot dogs and 8 bottles of soda between a doubleheader.
Oh.
imagine that.
I'm surprised he didn't do it during the game. Yeah. Yes, he had a massive appetite.
You know what I mean?
I've heard stories like that. That's crazy.
In 2008, Los Angeles and New York spent more on hot dogs than any other cities.
Wait, what city spent the most?
Los Angeles and New York. So, respectively, Los Angeles made like almost $91 million. And New York was like $108 million.
I'm stunned that Los Angeles is that high. Just because
I think you got to think about all the sports teams, right?
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, but you think in New York it's a hot dog city. They sell them on the corner, and they got the street vendors and stuff like that. Same thing with Chicago, but L.A. they don't do that.
So, like, we're talking about hot dogs and like hamburgers, but who are the dark horses? Is it Peanuts? Is it Cracker Jacks? I've never had a Cracker Jacks at a baseball game before.
Really, never?
No.
Oh, yeah, I like Cracker Jacks at a baseball game. If I were to go now, I love nachos, so I would get just nachos. I love to dip the nachos.
I feel like they're too messy for a game. Like then you gotta
they
lick
are.
your fingers.
Yeah, well, I don't have no problem licking my fingers at a game. Like I said, but that's one you'd have to go up to the stand to get. I don't think they're bringing that around. Like I said, the malt cup, but now it's just soft serve ice cream or ice cream cones and stuff like that. I don't eat hot dogs anymore. Fries. I'd eat fries at a game. I was hearing the other day on the Twins broadcast, they were talking, I forget what stadium they were in. It wasn't Minneapolis. I forget what it was. They were talking about garlic fries.
Oh, boy.
Which sounded really good to me.
And another broadcast, I forgot where they were. I think it was like Seattle or something. They had like, was it like a Reese's burger?
Oh,
where they put like Reese's on it, and so they made LaTroy Hawkins like try it on the broadcast. And
what did he say?
I think he almost like puked. Honestly,
oh,
but
that
like,
sounds. Did Audra Martin, the woman that works up there, bring it up? And Dick Bramer said, "I'm not trying that." And he said he took a bite and goes, "Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. It was actually that's just a like, weird combo."
Where do we draw lines where it's like? Let's leave chocolate.
I'll have chocolate at the game, but please don't put it on a hamburger.
All right, I have also procured some hot dog information, food information for Target.
Just like that
for Target Field. All right.
Okay.
If you want to find the least expensive food at Target Field,
okay.
Right? If you want a hot dog, or like peanuts or a fountain soda, hot dog. The most least expensive things are in section 133 and 327. Section 133 will be right above the right field scoreboard, right? You know, we're in between the bleachers in right field. And so you want to go there, or in the top corner in left field by the Budweiser deck.
Oh, okay.
So that's where you're going to get the cheapest hot dog.
You found this on a website. Where to find the cheap foods at? Okay.
No.
Imagine
this is all open source. The Twins have it out there.
Okay.
Also, some popular things at Target Field: a big dog with chips, $7.50. So you can find that.
So is that the thick hot dog?
Yeah.
The big thick hot dog and a bag of chips, and then is that a drink too?
Yep. You can find that at pretty much every concession stand there.
Okay.
Or the Twins dog. I think that's just a pretty regular. Tonio has his Cuban sandwich. So you can find that in the Delta 360 Club.
Okay.
Or Section 114. But
and I like how they market it that way. It's like, okay, there's a Twins player.
Killer Brew root beer. You can probably get wherever.
By the way, Killer Brew root beer is very good.
If you want pizza, like Pizza Luce has a place there. Pizza Luce, some of the best.
Do you eat pizza at a baseball game?
I have. I've been known to.
Yeah, I love pizza, and it's a weird item to eat there to me.
And it's like, the same thing with.
So what's your go-to food when you go to a baseball game? What do you know you want to have? Because like we talked about, you want popcorn at a movie. What do you want when you go to a baseball game?
It's a hot dog. It's probably 2 hot dogs.
Yep.
I myself just like ketchup and sauerkraut. So just
really?
Ketchup and sometimes it's like if I really, like we talked before, if I don't want to miss any of the game, it's just throw ketchup on there. If I'm really like I'm in a sauerkraut mood, I throw the sauerkraut on there, and then it depends. I don't really love, I might have a beer. It's either that or
beer's definitely the drink for baseball games, but pop too. I mean, I don't drink, but I'd have a Coke or something like that.
Me too.
For me, one of the things I love
anything, but it's got to be ice.
Yes.
You know
where they fill it full of ice. Yeah. And that's one thing they bring around on the trays. The other thing I love, my go-to thing at the ball game is I love get a bag of peanuts and then sit there in the shell and just spend the time. Because baseball is a great sport because there's time between each pitch. So you have time to say something to your buddy, write something down on your scorecard, and crack some peanuts and stuff like that. You don't have to focus the whole time like you do at a basketball game or a hockey game.
The
or
one thing
like
about that is like the people cleaning up like hate you.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not like you're gonna leave the shells in a nice, neat little there, over there, and over here.
Yeah, but they know that. I mean,
Yeah.
Imagine going to a game and like, oh, we don't have to clean anything up. Yeah, of course, it's going to be all over the ground.
I will say my most favorite thing I've ever had at Target Field is called the boomstick.
What's that?
When Nelson Cruz used to be on the Twins.
Yeah.
Miss that
Love
guy.
Nelson. Oh,
Miss
God,
that
I
guy.
love Nelson Cruz.
They marketed this 2-foot-long hot dog
Oh,
called
jeez.
the boomstick, right?
Was the bun that long?
Yeah.
Oh, my
No,
goodness.
the whole thing, yeah.
Okay.
So it had chili, nacho cheese, grilled onions,
Ooh, that sounds good.
jalapenos.
Ooh, no, I
and
don't like
like-
the jalapenos.
I didn't have it with jalapenos, but it was like section 127, right where the metro, where you enter if you're getting off the metro.
Yep.
And so it's right there, and they made a giant stand boomstick. People are walking away like holding it with 2 hands.
So they
I
come
had a
through the
couple of
door,
those.
buy the thing, and then go to their seat after.
Yeah, I'd have a couple of those, but that's like we said before. That's better when you can like market a food after a player because I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely the way to go. I don't know if you did this or your moms did this when you went to games, but I had to have a rule when I brought my son to games because one year we went to 15 games, which is a ton of games.
That's a lot.
They were still in the Dome at the time, and I had to have a rule because he would want everybody that came by, he'd want to buy something, or every inning he'd be like, well, "Let's go get something," and he loved to watch the game, but he also wanted to eat. So I'd say, "Okay, we're not getting our first thing till after the 3rd inning."
Yeah.
So he'd sit there and just go nuts waiting for the end of the 3rd inning. And then I would say, okay, we can get another thing after the 7th inning. So we'd get stuff 2 times because otherwise I would spend $400 on food, and it's like movie theater food. It's expensive, and that's part of the deal, and it's fine.
That was also with like the beer guys coming down the aisles. It's like when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, I just want because it looks so good.
It does look good.
Like when I was a little
Glasses
kid,
sweating and
the
everything.
only thing I wanted at like a Red Hawks game was like that Mike's lemonade. I'm like, Mom, can I get the Mike's the lemonade? And I'm like, it's just lemonade. And they're like, it's not just lemonade.
No, it's not just.
But like when I was a kid, that was the one thing that looked the most refreshing is like one of those lemonades.
Lemonade's a go-to for me at baseball games also. I love getting lemonade at baseball games. That or a soda or something like that. Yeah. Peanuts, nachos, love nachos.
Yeah.
I like I said, I have not entered the world of I mean, it's become a thing. You have chefs and stuff at ballparks.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
which I think is great. I think it's great, and there are people that's
crowd,
part of it. Yeah.
If you want that, like, I don't want to like rag on fans, but like, my moms and I were at like we paid a couple years ago. Like we'd maybe go to like 2 games, so we'd make it worth our while. We'd get in the Delta 360 Club, the padded seats.
Yep.
Behind home plate, and this was our trip. Like one of our
it's your
trips.
vacation.
We were too busy because of me playing baseball. Yep. And so we would make it a trip, and then one time, like, guys who were talking behind us spilled beer all over my mom's back, and they wouldn't stop talking about, like, the reunion that was coming up or, like, kind of like that. And it's like, not to be mean, but, like, aren't you there to watch the game?
Yeah. A lot of people aren't. I mean, that to me is a frustrating thing is when you go to a game and I'm there to watch the game, and I love to score.
Yeah.
Do you use the scorecard?
Yep,
I love doing the scorecard, and I have old scorecards from the 70s and stuff. I love to just score the game, and I love to be there and have a buddy that I can argue with and say, complain about a pitch or whatever it is. To me, that's the whole thing, and I love when I'm immersed in fans that are thinking the same thing, and everybody's arguing and cheering and all that stuff.
In any event, I don't think the food will ever change.
No, I think you always have your staples. You'll get more
Yep.
exotic. Pretty soon we're going to have like squid or something at a game. There's probably a stadium somewhere, maybe in Hawaii, that has squid.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, stadium food, like, it's part of the game. And tell us your favorites.
Yes, let us know what your favorites
let us know
are.
what your favorites are. Kevin really likes nachos.
I do like nachos.
Except he has to lick his dirty little fingers after
I do lick my dirty, which my kids hate, but I don't really care.
Because you're probably really loud, like, you know what
well,
I mean?
no,
Like,
I'm not. They just don't like to see my fingers in my mouth. My kids are mean.
Anyways, tell us what your favorite stadium food is. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Home Run Porch podcast. I'm Madison.
And I'm Kevin. Thanks for listening.